Hi, lovelies, and hi, beautiful exoticals. I will talk about how to be a proper exotical. The phrase proper exotical might sound ambiguous or vague, so I will be very specific. A proper exotical is an exotical who has privileges: pretty privilege, body privilege, hair privilege, light skin privilege, dark skin privilege, brown skin privilege, features privilege, education privilege, and many more privileges that I cannot mention because there are thousands of them, and maximizes them to the fullest to benefit her life. One big rule about being a proper exotical is not feeling guilty about your privilege. You do not owe anyone living in misery just to prove unsolicited solidarity to anyone. What inspired me to make this video was seeing beautiful and privileged exoticals living in misery and caring about the opinions of people they consider unprivileged. It makes my heart ache. It is like seeing someone with a box of emeralds, gold, rubies, and diamonds being ashamed of using them and letting them rot in the corner. Before I start talking about how to be a proper exotical, whatever shame or guilt you have because you possess these privileges, whatever guilt you have toward your loved ones, your mother, father, friend, or even a random stranger, should be thrown into the ocean right now, sinking to the bottom of the ocean floor. Now, you might be thinking, are you saying I should use my privilege to be mean to others or to downgrade people? My answer is this: a proper exotical does not stone people with her jewels. A proper exotical uses them to make herself, and the generations to come, better. Now that you have your green tea or fruit tea and your nice lunch, breakfast, or dinner with you, let us begin. The first step in being a proper exotical is recognizing her privileges and optimizing them. Whether it is pretty privilege, academic privilege, or any other privilege, a proper exotical should know what type of jewel she has so she knows how much value she carries and how to use it. There are some exoticals who grow up with abusive or narcissistic family members who make them downgrade their privileges. For example, an exotical who has pretty privilege might grow up being told by her mother or friends that she is not all that. It is like painting her jewels black and telling her they are coal instead of diamonds. So, whatever jewel someone has told you was coal, mud, or dirt, you need to dust the paint and mud off and recognize what type of jewel you actually have. Get a mirror, a phone camera, or any reflective surface. Look at yourself and identify what privileges you have. Internally, you might be scared to admit certain privileges because of what people have told you. That leads me to the next point. Stop associating your privileges with trauma. If you see a person wearing a gold chain, do you associate it with poverty? If you see someone carrying a ruby purse, do you associate it with living a miserable life? No, you do not. Your privileges are just as worthy as those jewels. So why do you associate your privileges with trauma and abuse? It could be because someone programmed you to believe that. If someone told you that gold is ugly, that having an emerald ring is weird, and that you should throw it away, would you do that? If your answer is no, then why do that to your privileges? And if your answer is yes, then girl, go and book a therapy session as soon as possible. That was a joke. But on a serious note, book a therapy session if you truly thought yes. Now that you have identified your privileges and hopefully stopped associating them with trauma, you need to learn how to sink that guilt, shame, and fear to the bottom of the ocean. Ask yourself what is causing the shame and guilt. For example, you could be a monoracial exotical with dark skin and type 2 or type 3 hair that is long and healthy. Meanwhile, you might have a mother, friend, or family member with short, unhealthy 4C hair. You might have grown up hearing phrases like, "you are lucky," or "you are not all that," or being told that everyone will still be treated the same. You might watch them struggle with their hair and curse the texture given to them by God instead of loving it. You might see the way they stare at your hair. Slowly, that guilt starts building. You get compliments about your hair at work while you see another woman with tighter hair textures being called ghetto or looked down on. You see someone struggling to style their hair while you can simply slick yours into a messy bun and still get jealous stares and compliments. That guilt and shame begin to grow. You start covering your hair, rejecting compliments, associating with people who drag you down, and listening to people who tell you to throw away those jewels. They might even encourage you to cut your hair short, claiming short hair suits you, even when they know it does not. Some might go as far as sabotaging your hair products or wishing evil on your hair. You might ask yourself, if I have healthy hair, how does that benefit me? Well, if you stop associating your privileges with trauma and surround yourself with supportive people, those people might encourage you to start a hair care line, become an influencer teaching people how to maintain healthy hair, become a hair model, or simply style your hair in ways that make you stand out. You might then ask, what about those unprivileged people? One thing you should understand is that you do not owe anyone your entire life. Yes, you can empathize with them. Yes, you can suggest help if you care for them. But you should not allow them to drag you down or force you to pretend you live their lives just to make them happy. If they had your jewels, they would not throw them into the ocean to make you feel comfortable. By now, you probably know that I like relating topics to my real-life experiences. Recently, I was talking to my cousin. She mentioned that some South Asian coworkers at our part-time job were racist and colorist toward her and tried to act like they were better than her. Then she asked me about them, expecting me to relate to her experience. But I could not. Those same South Asian coworkers were nice to me. They complimented me, helped me at work, and even asked about my skincare routine. They asked for tips on removing tan and how I maintain my skin, even though I honestly do not have many tips. I mostly just use moisturizer and sunscreen, and occasionally vitamin C serum and zinc serum. When my cousin shared her experience with them, I felt shocked and guilty at first. But later, I realized something important. Her experience with those people and my experience with those same people can both be real and legitimate. I can empathize with her without feeling guilty that my experience was different. Even though we are from the same continent and both West African, there are spaces she might enter where she does not feel welcomed, while I might enter those same spaces and feel welcomed. I have experienced being mistaken for other racial groups or ethnicities, while she has not. The point is this: even if our loved ones do not have the privileges we have, we can empathize with them without feeling guilty or sabotaging ourselves. That is how a proper exotical acts. One day, I hope to write a book about this and release it. Fingers crossed. In that book, I will talk about my experiences being light-skinned in West Africa and in Europe. Bye, my beautiful lovelies. I hope this helped.